Here's a question. If your capital allows for it, should you buy one property or two? You're probably drawn to two, and you're not wrong. Entirely. Most people across the world would give the same answer. Most people who have never built a portfolio, and most people who have. It's a completely natural place to land. But the investors who built the largest portfolios in Dubai and elsewhere didn't start with this question, not because they had more capital, not because they had access to information you do not have, but because they asked a different question first. The most common mistake in real estate investment is not buying the wrong property, it's answering the second question before you've asked the first. Think about how most investors approach their first or second purchase. They know how much capital they have, they do the calculations, they figure out what they can afford, and then they start looking at options. One property at this price point, two at half the size, which community, which developer, how many bedrooms. Every single one of those is the second question. The first question, the one that determines whether any of the answers to the second question are actually right, never gets asked. Because it does not come with a property listing. You cannot find it on a developer's payment plan. It requires sitting down and thinking about something most people find genuinely uncomfortable to define precisely. What are you actually building toward? Two investors, identical capital, identical market, identical choices available to them. They can both choose correctly and still end up in completely different places 15 years from now. Not because of the market, but because they were building toward different things without knowing what those things were. Meet Tim and Dee, British couple, both working in Dubai, a family to think about. They've been disciplined for years, owning their family home, building savings, living within their means while the city moved around them. And now, for the first time in their journey, they have capital sitting outside that home that they've decided to put to work. They've had the conversation, they've run the numbers. Two properties, the logic feels solid. Diversification, two income streams, two assets building equity simultaneously. It feels like the beginning of something real. They sit down with an advisor, and the first question the advisor asks is not about property. It's what does success look like for you, specifically, in 20 years? Tim and Dee look at each other. They have a feeling about this. Retire comfortably, build something, leave the kids with more than they started with. But they had never translated that feeling into a number, a monthly income they actually need, a structure that generates it, a sequence of decisions that gets them there. And that single unanswered question changes everything about whether two properties is the right answer for them. Because two properties could mean two assets generating income from month one, if income now is what the strategy requires. Or it could mean one asset growing in value, and the second produces cash flow while the first matures. Two properties bought entirely in cash, clean, no obligation beyond what the assets themselves generate. Or two purchased with a mortgage, which changes what those assets cost every month, and changes what room is left to move when the next opportunity arrives. Should they use leverage at all? That single question rewrites every number on the page. Not better or worse, different, and the right answer depends entirely on what they are trying to build. Two properties in the same community, or two in different ones. Two assets of the same type, or two with different functions. One generating yield now, one building equity for later. Every version of two properties is a different strategy. Tim and Dee had chosen the number, they hadn't chosen the strategy. The advisor asks a second question. Before we talk about what you're going to buy, what does the first property need to make possible? Not just for you today, for you in year 3, in year 8. What door needs to be open that is only open if this first decision is made correctly? And in that moment, Tim and Dee understood something that sounds simple, but took most serious investors years to learn. The question was never one or two. The question was, what are we building, and what does every decision along the way need to serve? Portfolio builders never answer the one or two question in isolation. They ask three questions first, and the answer to those three questions determines everything, including, and eventually, how many properties should we buy? Question 1. What does success look like, specifically? Not a feeling, a number, a monthly income at a defined point in the future that your portfolio generates without you going to work to earn it. That sentence, specific, honest, sometimes uncomfortable to say out loud, is the foundation of every single decision that follows. Because once you have that number, you can work backwards. You know what yield you need, you know what asset value generates that yield, you know how much capital you need to accumulate and over what timeline. The number of properties is a conclusion, not a starting point. Without that number, every decision is a guess with conviction attached to it. Question 2. What does your first property need to make possible? Every asset in a portfolio should serve a function beyond itself. That function is the question nobody asks at the developer launch. Are you buying with cash? Then everything that property earns goes directly toward the goal. Nothing consumed by a monthly obligation. Your cash flow is clean. Your position is simple. Are you using a mortgage? Leveraging the bank's capital alongside your own to control a larger asset? Then the calculation changes. Not better, not worse, different. The property now has a monthly cost. That cost changes what you earn from it each month. It changes how much room you have left to move when the next decision arrives. Neither is the right answer. The right answer is whichever one serves the strategy you defined in question 1. An investor who uses a mortgage without knowing why is speculating on the terms being favourable. An investor who avoids a mortgage without knowing why is leaving a tool on the table that might have built the portfolio faster. Question 3. What does the strategy look like when something goes wrong? One property vacant is 100% of your rental income gone, 100% of your monthly obligations still running. 2 properties means one vacancy doesn't stop the strategy. The second asset keeps producing while you replace the tenant. But 2 properties with a mortgage on each, on an income position that is stretched, means one unexpected month creates pressure the strategy was never designed to absorb. The number of assets is not what determines resilience. The relationship between your income, your obligations, and your goal is what determines resilience. And that relationship needs to be understood before the first purchase, not discovered during the first crisis. 3 questions, no verdict. Because the verdict, 1 property or 2, cash or mortgage, which community, which type, is the output of those questions, not the input. The investors who try to skip to the output without asking the questions first are not investing. They're buying property and hoping. Tim and Dee didn't make a bad decision when they chose 2 properties. They made a premature one. They answered a question before they had asked the one that mattered. And that's not a mistake unique to them. It's the most common mistake in the Dubai property market. Not bad assets, not bad timing, but the wrong sequence. The mission never defines the goal defines the mission. And every decision in this market, how many properties, which type, cash or mortgage, when to move, is a mission. The goal has to come first. Portfolio builders know what they are building toward before they buy a single brick. And because they know that, every decision they make is an answer, not a guess. If you want to start with the right question, that conversation begins in the link below.